So, it is 5 o'clock on Saturday, somehow. So the thing about the job that I'm working right now is that it's flagging. I will explain that in a moment. But it's a night shift, right? So that means that you work all night and sleep all day. But our schedule is super jacked up, so he'll be like, hey man, come into work at like 10 o'clock. And it's like, okay, so an 8-hour shift is the normal shift, and that'll go from 10 to 6 in the morning, say. And so it'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So I come in, work my 8 hours or whatever, go back home, get home at 6 or 7, and go to bed. And then 8 hours from then, or 7 hours or so, is because I try to get a decent amount of sleep. 8 hours from then would be, that'd be like 3 in the afternoon. So it'd be like that if we started at 10, but like last night we started at 8. So I woke up in the morning at like, I don't know, to 1 o'clock. I was up until we started at 8, so that's 8 hours that I stayed up. And then we started at 8, did a 10-hour shift until 6 o'clock in the morning. And so that's a 10-hour shift, so that's 18 hours. Then I came home and I just could not go to sleep. So I was like, "Aah!" And I stayed up until like, I don't know, like 10 or something. So I stayed up 18, and then, yeah, I stayed up like 22 hours or something. So I was just up for days. I was like, because when you stay awake all night, have you done that before, pulling all nighter, and like you're awake and you're like, yeah, whatever, and then it hits that point where you're like, whoa, I'm actually super tired right now, bro, whoa, but then you get a second wind and you're like, oh, tired, whatever, and then you stay up even later. That's a thing. And because that second wind happens while I'm at work and not like before or after, it happens while I'm at work. So that means like by the time I get home and get ready to go to bed, I'm wide awake. Like I'm actually like, yeah, let's be awake and do stuff. Yeah. So that's a thing. My sleeping schedule is totally jacked up. It's a beautiful day outside, and I pretty much wasted at least 7 hours of it by sleeping. But it wasn't waste because I needed to sleep to stay healthy and stuff, but still sucks. So flagging, when I say flagging, that means I have a stop sign in my hand. Because wherever there's roads, there's cars. Well, wherever there's cars, there's roads. And wherever there are roads, eventually there will need to be some kind of construction on those roads. And so usually you'll set up signs for stuff, but people don't really actually stop at signs. So you need a guy standing there to say, hey, you gonna stop? And then they'll be like, fine. So I'm that guy. I hold the sign, and they see this stuff, and like some massive truck is coming across, like directly across the road. And I have to be like, hey, sir, would you like to not get crushed to death? Yeah, you should stop. And he'll be like, fine, you suck. And so that's what I do. So I just hold stop signs, stop and slow, and I just tell them to go stop and slow. And so I'm literally just standing here in the same spot all day, just like, go ahead, stop, okay. All right, go ahead. And it's not that bad, but it's really boring. So I'm working on the railroad. I'm helping them to like do stuff with the railroad and stuff. And part of the railroad is that it's a super like old line. It's the super old track. It's really old. It's like 100 years old. And back in the day, they made it with wooden ties, railroad spikes, brackets, and then the track. So you'd lay down all the ties like a ladder, and then you'd put the brackets on the ties, and then you put the track on, and then nail the spikes in so that it would hold the track on really tough. And so like that's cool and everything, but this is the Pacific Northwest, and it rains a lot, and so all the wood starts to rot. And so the track they're replacing it with is like this beautiful, like it comes in 1,500 foot long sections. It's on these concrete ties. It's like beautiful. It's got these little cup holders that like, grab it and they cinch it all shut and tight. And it's like, wow, that is really pristine. But the stuff they're ripping out is old and jank and just messed up, man. It's crazy. So I was like, man, I am an aspiring blacksmith, among other things, and it would be great if I could get my hands on some of that stuff, because railroad track is made out of, like, it's just steel. It's just straight up steel, because you got to have freaking trains run on it. And so a lot of amateur blacksmiths will use it to make anvils, because it's so hard that you can just beat on it all day and it won't really do anything, which is perfect for when you're beating on when you're beating on softened metal that you burn in a fire. So they had some extra pieces yesterday, I guess, and I was like, hey man, can I have a piece of that? And he was like, I don't care. So I'm like, cool, thank you. So I go over and I grab this railroad track. That's what it looks like. It's got kind of a messy edge on this side, but that's all right. And then I took a casual stroll down the edge of the railroad track, and because of how old and jacked up it is, there's just pieces actually laying like outside of it, on it, around it, scattered, covered in dirt and mud. And I'm like, okay. So I picked up a railroad bracket, picked up this thing, which I think is also a bracket, I'm pretty sure. And then I picked up a bunch of railroad spikes, and this is what I'm gonna use to make knives and armor and awesome stuff. So now I got my hammer. Oh, so good. So that is what I'm up to. That's what I'm gonna be doing as soon as I build a forge. All right, bye guys. I can't get decent lighting. All right, bye.